The Spurs suffering another setback at point guard. Greg Popovich said Derrick White is now expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a torn heel ligament in his left heel. The team is already without Dejounte Murray, who suffered a torn right ACL. Lonnie Walker IV expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a torn right meniscus. Does anyone have Tony Parker's phone number?
How about Ginobili?
Manu come back.
Shout out, Chuck. What do you do?
I mean, this is why I said the Spurs might miss the playoffs this year. I know
at the beginning of the week, I didn't really agree with you, and now I can't.
It's a lot. It's a lot to overcome. It's a lot to overcome, and the onus is going to be on guys like Bryn Forbes, and they're going to have to go out and get some more help, I think.
It is. I mean, the Spurs, they've always relied on their veterans. This team stayed together. We were calling them Father Time for the past 5 years. And, you know, those guys stuck around. They were pretty reliable in terms of getting old. And now, you know, you're trying to move into this new generation of young players. It's not really working out. And you hate to see that for Pop because he's been so successful.
It's an interesting point, too, because even when the older guys weren't really playing up to their young selves' capability, they were that locker room presence. They were on the bench.
Yep.
If you did have guys who went down in a domino of injuries and someone really young and unproven had to step in, you did have like a guy like Manu on the team playing, whispering in his ear, that sort of thing. When a locker room suddenly loses that level of veteran leadership, Scottie, how much of an impact does it make, even if it wasn't on the court stuff?
Well, the assistant coaches really earned their money at that time because they really have to implement themselves a lot more in trying to help the players develop, help them learn the system. It becomes real tough when you got young players because they're not pros yet. They're not getting the calls in the game, so the breaks go really bad for them.
Well, Manu's kind of become a de facto assistant coach there, so maybe you might not be far off. Thunder coach Billy Donovan saying yesterday Russell Westbrook is progressing, quote progressing, quote progressive, one of those. Getting closer to a return from surgery on his right knee, but he's not been cleared for full contact. Season starts in 5 days. Westbrook has been participating in more parts of practice, but his status for that opener is in question. So, I don't know, Scottie, look at that slate. I don't, if he's not even doing one-on-one yet, I don't see him for a few of those
I think
games.
looking at that schedule, it'll be cool if he sit out for 5-6 games, you know?
There's 2 W's on there for sure. Well, look, this is the thing. If it were a regular, I got to say this every time we talk about the Western Conference. This is a regular NBA year, 5-6 games, no big deal. He'll be back, and they'll be back to normal. The thing I worry about is...
I love this, by the way.
The thing I worry about is with so many teams in the West so tightly packed in and they're all jockeying for position, are we going to be in a situation at the end of the year where because you went 2-4 in those games, that's why you're just shy of a playoff
Well,
berth?
last year, like the difference between 3 and 6, say, was what, 1 game, 2 games, something like that? I mean, the difference between not making it and being the 4th seed was 1 or 2 games. I mean, it's crazy out there. And then, of course, the questions with Russell are always, you know, where is his athleticism going to be? It's such a huge part of his game.
Well, I expect him to come back better.
Okay.
When we've
think
seen
it's bionic
Russell,
in there?
Yeah, because when we've seen him have injuries in the past, he comes back with this fierce competitive fire.
That's true.
I expect nothing less. He's had a summer to really physically get his body ready.
Right, and the good thing is having Dennis Schroeder.
That
softens that blow.
Absolutely.
A lot of time.